this moment. Everything shows up. Everything presents itself just as it is. When you slow down,
let it all happen.
something fantastic, magic happens in you. When you breathe in, it's like
We're all listening from an echoing of our own soul.
when you breathe out, it's just
Like a rain cloud, relief it comes pouring down on a thirsty world.
'cause meditation is the medication to cure the illusion of separation.
Meditation is the medication to cure the illusion of a separation.
To a mind that's still becomes a cup that's filled with
Effervescence, ever-presence, and a heart that swells.
And when you drink from this, it's a never-ending peacefulness. You don't have to believe in this. It's a story that tells itself. And when you
Breathe in, it's like we're all listening to an echoing of our own soul. Breathe out, it's just like a rain cloud, relief it comes pouring down on a thirsty world.
'Cause meditation is the medication to cure the illusion of separation.
Meditation is the medication to cure the illusion of a separation.
We are one when we are all together. We are one when we are all alone.
We are one when we are all together. We are one when we are all alone.
Have you ever been here? Have you ever stayed here?
It's okay. He told us we can do whatever we want.
All right. 'Cause meditation is the
Meditation is the medication to cure the illusion of a separation.
We are one when we are all together. We are one when we are all alone. You can sing it with us.
We are one when we are all together. We are one when we are all alone.
We are one when we are all together. We are one when we are all alone. Now in Sanskrit. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Sing it if you want.
Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya.
We are one when we are all together. We are one when we are all alone. Come on, sing it with us.
We are one when we are all together. We are one when we are all alone.
Here's the other line. Meditation is the medication to cure the illusion of separation.
Meditation is the medication to cure the illusion of a separation.
Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya.
Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya.
I was trying to get you to go in tempo.
Thank you. First time here. Is it 9:55? We did bring our clock up. Oh my goodness. All right. We're going to start a couple verses out of here. We really got into that song, didn't we? All right. We're going to do a little, you got to get your hands clapping. Here we go. Come on, clap along. Just going to do a verse or two.
You can do it. You can go. You can do it.
Good words, good thoughts, good deeds. Good words, good thoughts, good deeds. Come on, sing it with us. Good words, good thoughts, good deeds. Good words, good thoughts, good deeds.
These are the things, and these things we need.
From the time you rise to the time you sleep, every step you take, every breath you receive, do these. Do these. And everyone you pass down every street, every eye you meet, every friend you keep, do these.
Do these, do these.
All hands together, let's sing it along now.
Good words, good thoughts, good deeds. 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 These are the things, and these things we need.
If you look back at the world from space, all you see is one human race. Do these. Stand in the shoes of another you. Will find that these three things will set you free.
You free, you free.
Y'all, come on, let's do it again.
Good words, good thoughts, good deeds. 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 These are the things, these things we need.
All right, thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living. Bob and Sima, right? Sima, is that it? Okay, well, there they are. Stand up for them. Eddie is up. Eddie Watkins Jr., of course, is normally here. He is up at Mile High in Colorado, probably playing to 1,000 people or more. That's a one of our biggest churches in Denver, Colorado. So we're just going to envision 1,000 people here in St. Augustine. We can see that. Don't laugh. We can see it. It can happen. Sure. You know, St. Augustine was one of the first places that the Europeans got to. And they planted a cross. They planted a better idea. So why can't we have 1,000 people here radiating a better idea? Maybe even more than 1,000 people. Envision that possibility. Does it need to be 1,000? Could it be just a couple of hundreds? But we know we're going to grow back, and we're going to grow back stronger because we've got a message. They were singing about new thoughts, new words, new good deeds. That's what we're promoting. A greater possibility, a better world, a new heaven and a new earth. And we can create it, we can bring it by, and we do it through our words and thoughts and deeds. We do it through affirmative prayer. So today we're going to do some good work here, and we're going to have some fun doing it. So thank you all for showing up this morning. We're grateful for our online community showing up. We know that you join us in consciousness, and together we're creating a brand new possibility of what good can be in our lives and in the world. Just one announcement before we get going. As you remember, we had when the variant hit, we had a little slight dip in our finances, and a group of kids of our member who's made her transition came to us and said, you know, if you will match a certain amount, we'll match that fund with you. And they threw out a number that we thought was kind of large at that time. It was $10,000. But not only did we match that, we went well over it. And yes. And so to honor their donations, we're putting a plaque up on the bench at the garden we have outside to honor their mother, Judy James. Judy was a powerful Southern woman who created lots of good, and the plaque just simply says, in sincere appreciation to the James Gang, which is what they like to call themselves, who helped the Center for Spiritual Living survive the COVID pandemic. And so it will be there as a reminder of the great good that we were able to bring into the center and their help doing it. All right, well, I think those are all my announcements. So do y'all have some more great music you'd like to share with us?
We do. Thank you. You literally just inspired this song. Like, I didn't just write it right now, but you inspired me to sing it. About the power of togetherness. This song called Together We Rise. If you want to go fast, then go alone. If you want to go far, you better bring somebody else along. 'Cause in the moment of darkness, in the moment of truth, you think you're
2 hands to applaud, and a pair of wings to reach the sky. There will be many, there will be plenty. It pushes everything up from underneath. Together we rise, together we thrive.
We believe in circles.
'Cause circles take no sides. Together we win.
Everyone is in.
When every little hand and every little heart touches every little piece and every little part now.
If you want to start a revolution, reach out your hand and lift up a brother or sister and feel the power at your command. If you hold a vision, show everyone what you see.
And watch the tribe come alive to turn your dreams to reality. There will be many, there will be plenty.
When we turn to we like the roots from the tree.
It pushes everything up from underneath. Together we rise, together we thrive.
We believe in circles.
'Cause circles take no sides. Together we win.
Everyone is in.
When every little hand and every little heart touches every little piece and every little part now.
Inside of you is inside of me.
Amplified, turned into we. Ooh. The reason they call it unity, 'cause it all begins with you and me.
If you wanna go fast, then go alone. If you wanna go far, you better bring somebody else along.
Together we rise, together we thrive.
We believe in circles.
'Cause circles take no sides. Together we win.
Everyone is in.
When every little hand and every little heart touches every little piece and every little part now.
Lovely. So let's now put all that really wonderful emotion, their wisdom, their energy, their words, let's put that to power in our lives. And a great way to do that is through affirmative prayer. So now I'm going to have my wonderful friend, Pat Conover, come up and do an affirmative prayer for us. Come on up, Pat.
Thank you, Ken. Isn't life interesting? That song mimics exactly what's on the cover of this month's Science of Mind magazine. Emerging in oneness, going further together. Perfect. And I have a reading from this month's edition, part of one of the articles anyway. We are now more than reactors to circumstance. In fact, we feel an energy and enthusiasm way more than grim resolve to create, fearlessly explore, and discover life's treasures right where we are, as well as over the next hill. Manifestation is the natural result of expecting the best and being faithfully patient until it shows up. We cooperate, actually collaborate. with the progressive movement of creation. It's vital to remember that we never manifest in isolation from one another, but rather unleash our creativity to everyone's enjoyment. Our happiness is contagious. We love better, and all life feels it. Synchronicity with the music for sure. And now, close your eyes if you wish. The love and power of the universal good is within me, and it flows through me and around me and outward into the universe, extending to all. Perfect love exists. It is greater than fear that vies for the attention of all of us. An inner light and eternal blessing is the love that we shine forth. I radiate joy and happiness into this life. I'm grateful for this knowing, for this place of love that is the Center for Spiritual Living, and for the boundless spirits with us today, as well as the good around us. I accept and rejoice in the truth excuse me, that this good is always expressing itself to me and through me, around me. I see and honor and feel it within me constantly. I send this truth into the universal mind, where it does its good and perfect work, as we say together, and so it is.
Thank you for that beautiful prayer. And the synchronicity, it's always there, isn't it? Feeling like a ballad, if that's okay with you, because I know this talk is going to be a powerful thing, and he talked about we're going to do good work this morning. So this is a song about doing some good work, and it was inspired by Thich Nhat Hanh. Any Thich Nhat Hanh fans in the house? Everyone. These are our people. This is it. But thank you to Eddie, by the way, for having us here. We live down in Cocoa area. We moved down here about a year and a half ago from Maryland. It's cold this morning. We're already Floridians, so we got that done. Yeah, this is cold up here in the north. But anyway, we're grateful we do this full time. This is our work, our ministry, and we're honored to be here. No mind, no lotus. Haven't you noticed the patterns of the pain in your past? The things that broke you, well, they also woke you to the question that you needed to ask.
Sleepless nights and the dizzying heights and the dreams, some of which came true. Tough breaks, heartaches, perfect mistakes created this version of you.
And everything you go through grows you, grows you.
And everything you go through grows you.
Exposes who you are. If it hurt, it made you softer. It was hard, it fueled the hunger. If it touched you, your heart took hold. If it was simple, it made you wise. If it was sweet, it made you smile.
Weaved an indelible impression on your soul. Your feet they walked, and your lips they talked, and your hands dug around for the proof.
Every look, every book, picture in your mind that you took.
Created this version of you.
And everything you go through grows you. Grows you.
And everything you go through grows you.
Exposes the roots of an endless summer, part-time temporary lovers, and the swarm of the deep blue sky. And as time flew, you planted and gathered your truth as it passed before your eyes. And
The wound is where the light gets in, revealing the masterpiece just beneath the skin.
in the glow of your own light, your petals open wide.
And you bloom right where you are.
You go through, grows you, grows you.
And everything you go through grows you.
Exposes who you are. No mind, no lotus. Haven't you noticed the patterns of the pain in your past? The things that broke you, well, they also woke you to the questions that you need to ask.
Wow, that was amazing. I love that. The things that broke you, woke you to the questions you need to ask. Beautiful, beautiful. They have a lot of their music outside, and so be sure to stock up. We want to make sure that they leave here with full hearts, but also full pockets. The holiday seasons are not too close, so it's good to be shopping early. So it's a nice gift. Thank you for both for showing them. So my talk title this week is Limitations, and particularly breaking through limitations. We set our own. The limitations, we set them. We're the ones that are in controls of them. We're the ones that tell ourselves what we can do and can't do. Henry Ford, he said, if you tell yourself you can or if you tell yourself you can't, you're right. You're right. You make that decision for yourself. And anything can happen. Anything in life can happen. Even the most fantastical of stuff can happen. I remember when I was a wee little kid in the first grade, and we got our first weekly readers. Did anybody else get weekly readers in grammar school? Yes. And the first edition, when I was in the first grade, I had on the cover what they envisioned a telephone would look like, where you could see the person on the other end. And I was just so amazed at that possibility that one day we would be able to do it. And now we can. And aren't we just so happy about it? Yeah. our dear little national organization, they're forever trying to get us, keep us informed and get new thoughts to us. And it's Zoom call this and Zoom call that. And I swear, even if they somehow resurrected Ernest Holmes and said, you can ask him 3 questions, any 3 questions you want, but it's going to be on a Zoom call, I'd be like, oh, I think I need to get some groceries, or there's an oil change I've been putting off, Yeah. Another Zoom call has no interest to me at all. But it's amazing how something fantastical became just commonplace. Just commonplace. Now, students of history, if you read history a lot, one of the things that will amaze you is that amazing things happen all the time that there's no explaining for. And particularly in crisis, war times or economic crisis, things can happen with almost no explanation for. So don't count yourself out. Don't count yourself out. Who would have ever thought that there would come a time when a 90-year-old man would climb on a spacecraft and head to outer space? Yeah. Who would have ever thought that would happen? And even more than that, who would have ever thought the person with doing that would be William Shatner? Yeah, I love William Shatner, but, kind of a little range of acting talent there. You've never seen a William Shatner interpretation of Hamlet or Macbeth, no. But he did have a vibration within him. He thought of himself to a level that he was able to attract that show to him, Star Trek, that did propel him to greatness. A funny little program that nobody thought was of very much importance when it came out. Now, actually, some had. The person who redlined or approved Star Trek, amazing person that I study a great deal, Lucille Ball. Lucille Ball. We think of her as a comedian. She was more a businesswoman than she was a comedian. She was the first female owner of a major studio in Hollywood. Yeah. She also, one of the other programs she redlined that's still with us today, Mission Impossible. Mission Impossible. Now, she was not the only one to see that this show had potential. The little African-American lady, Nicole Nichols, I think that's her name, played Lieutenant Uhura on it. And she wanted to quit the program. She was like, I don't want to. They've got this thing stuck in my ear. I don't want to be on this program. Who called her up to say, you got to stick with it? Dr. Martin Luther King. He called her up and said, you can't quit. He says, you're showing kids that, there's going to come a day when skin color doesn't matter. She stuck with it. It was her and Shatner also broke grounds. It was the first interracial kiss on national television. National television. So that one little show had huge consequences. Who knew that it was firing the imagination of little girls and boys all over that would one day engineer a spacecraft to get William Shatner out into space? Now, love William Shatner for doing that. Love him for, being a part of that. But also, he has broke ground and burst open limitations in another way that I think is even more important than all of that. He is showing us that even at 90 years old, you're not too old to break some limitations, to burst through and make something wonderful and amazing happen in your life. And that is new and revolutionary. Gosh, if you look back on the TV at, around the time that he was doing that, people who were over 60, well, they were just showed in a wheelchair with a blanket across their knees in a corner. Somebody getting a hot water bottle to put with them. It was just considered life was over with about 45 or 50. Yeah. Well, you know, think about All in the Family. You remember that? You remember how old Archie appeared to be? Well, Archie was just in 45 or 50. He wasn't an old guy at all, but they were portraying him as old. So we are bursting through limitations, and that's a great thing. And that's a great thing as we are getting older, say, wait a minute now. I still have a lot of life. I have a lot of possibilities, and I am here to do something powerful, bold, and dynamic. And a number is not going to hold me back. I have a friend, and he's in his mid-60s. He's a minister of a large church in Atlanta, and he tells me all the time, he says, I love this age. He says, I'm smart enough now to know how to live well, to know how to make things happen in my life. He says, I'm smart enough to keep myself healthy and happy and in right relationship. He says, I'm loving the idea of the next 20 to 30 years of my life. Well, that's an attitude that will keep you happy. That's an attitude that will keep you thriving. And that's an attitude that will keep you on the fresh cutting edge of God's green growth of life. Dr. Holmes, the founder of our wonderful teaching, he says, we all want to live in a beautiful world, surrounded by wonderful friends who remind us to laugh and to play, to live in a beautiful circumstance, to have good things to occupy our time with, to have a meaningful life, to know that we have an important role to play here, that we are making the world a better place just by our being here. That's what we want to do, and we can do it. Dr. Holmes says the way to do it is through affirmative prayer, praying as Jesus did, praying in the affirmative. And he says this way is as certain as the sun will shine to burst through and bring about a better possibility. Accepting a better idea for ourselves. It's foolproof. Even I can do it. And if I can do it, you can do it. It's not hard. It's not hard to learn. It's not hard to do. The challenge is in consistency. That's the challenge. To be more willing to remind yourself to pick yourself up again when you've been knocked on your keister, because sometimes in life that's what happens, and to pick yourself up again and to remind yourself of a better idea. Because you know, we don't promise you that you're not going to get knocked on your keister from time to time. That's life. The goal is that when that does happen to you, to be able to get back to your program and also look around to see if there's an opportunity. Because sometimes the view you get on your keister, you don't get when you're riding at 60 miles an hour. There may be something that you've missed. There may be something you can take advantage of. So that's what we want to do. Now, Dr. Holmes says the only worry he had was that people would be involved in too much theory and not enough practice. They'd want to think about it. They'd want to talk about it. They want to go around and tell all their friends and relatives how they should be doing it. Yeah. It's what we've got to do ourselves. You have to do it for yourself. He said, daily, we have to control any thought that denies the divine presence. We have to control them. Now, it doesn't mean that you have to eliminate them, because we're human. We're going to have them from time to time. But it means you control them. You don't give them energy. You don't invite them in your consciousness to sit and have a cup of tea. You control them, because if you give them energy, they grow, they expand, they will take over your life. It's like if you have a yard here in Florida. Anybody who has a yard in Florida know that there's the weeds are there waiting to take over that lawn. You know, they may just be the seedlings in the ground, but if they get enough water, if they get enough light, they're going to pop up, and you're going to have to deal with them. Now, you can put mulch down. You can plant enough grass or enough plants to knock out the shade, or you can use chemicals, but you don't have to worry about them. You don't have to fight them. You can get to a place where you can handle them with ease. There's not much effort, but you do have to pay attention to them. And you can get, to me, to a place where you kind of, appreciate them a little bit. Not worry about them so much. Incorporate them. But you want to make sure that you're the one in control. This is the same thing with our thinking. We turn away from negative emotional environments by accepting a better idea for ourselves. But it's got to be a powerful and bold idea. It's got to have enough umph to it to pull us out of that negative environment. It's got to have some energy. Now, just imagine someone's walked out of your life. Mildred has packed up and left. Oh my goodness, the trauma, the heartbreak. What do? Well, you call your friends and families, the ones that are willing to listen to hear you kvetch about poor Mildred. And for a while, that moaning and groaning, there's some enjoyment in that. And there is a little bit of healing in it. But if you do it long enough, all it's doing is empowering that feeling of lack. You may enjoy it, you may be anesthetized to it for as long as the call is taking place, but the moment you hang up that phone, those thoughts are going to come racing back to you and empowered with more negative energy for you to handle. You gotta get a better idea. So you want to start thinking, what's the biggest idea I can hold on to that's going to pull me out of it? Well, maybe you want to visit Paris. Maybe you can envision yourself having a croissant under the Eiffel Tower, and you start taking French lessons. That's a powerful idea, enough idea to get you through that negativity. And what it will do, you'll forget about Mildred altogether, or the memory of her will drain the emotional hurt from that memory. And that memory will no longer have the charge. It won't trigger you as much. You'll learn to handle it, and you'll be able to go on to a better and beautiful and bold new day. You sitting under the Eiffel Tower and having a croissant and one of their little coffees, if someone mentioned Mildred to you, you'd be like, oh, hope she's doing well, but glad she ain't here. You can do it. Dr. Holmes says, just as sure as the mist disappears before the sun, just as certainly as that sun rose this morning and the dark shadows fled from it, just as sure as that, so shall adversity melt before the shining radiance of our exalted thought. I love that. Our adversity shall melt before the shining radiance of our exalted thought. So now is the time to get thinking about what is that exalted thought. And you can't make it too grand. You got to make sure that it's something you can believe in. It's something that you can put your whole soul into. Sometimes I will have people come and I'll ask them, what do you want in life? And they'll come up with, well, I want to feed the hungry children of the world. That's a wonderful thing to do, yes, but let's get going. Maybe can we start off with feeding the needy kids here in St. Johns County? Getting a bag of food so they can take home over the weekend. You start with that. You get some success behind you, and then it increases your consciousness so you can go on to do something even more powerful. But the big part is you got to start moving on it. You've got to take the first step. You've got to do what's right in front of you to do, and then Spirit is going to gift you more. And the more you do, the more Spirit gives you, then you may be well on your way to having a program that puts a dent into world hunger. But you got to believe in yourself, and you've got to move towards your greater vision of what you want to see and have and be in your life. Dr. Holmes says we shall behold a new heaven and a new earth, not in some faraway place, but here now. Here now. Because unless we see it, unless we experience, unless we feel the new heaven and the new earth right as we are right here now, we'll never see it in some far off place. If you don't have it in the physical, how would you even recognize it once you got to the spiritual? You wouldn't even be able to recognize it. So here now, in drips and drabs, because that's how it happens, we want to recognize, proclaim, work towards, believe in, envision, pray for the new heaven and a new earth, where people are living together in happiness and prosperity, where there is not so much anger and turmoil. Dr. Holmes says, act as if I am and I will be. The Spirit of truth will lead us into an all good. And this is the high road to fulfillment of our lives. In other words, it doesn't have to be so hard. It doesn't have to be so turmoil, with so much turmoil, with so much anger, with so much frustration. Life doesn't have to be this hard. Spirit never envisioned us living in such disarray. We're the ones who have to open up our eyes. There is no limitation outside our own ignorance. And when we conceive of a greater good, we will have the ability to transcend all previous experiences and rise triumph over them. So this morning, here today, right where we are, right as we are, we want to proclaim ourselves having the power and the good, the intelligence, the wisdom of a William Shatner. And we're going to envision ourselves walking into a great rocket of hope and love and inspiration that's going to shoot us right out of this world of turmoil. And by doing so, by shaking off the shackles of fear and anger and distrust, we're going to bring about a new heaven and a new earth. We can do it. Spirit called you by name from stardust so you could be here this morning, so you can proclaim the great goodness of your soul, to create a world that's loving, to create a world of compassion, to create a world where brotherhood and sisterhood join hand in hand and proclaim the great goodness of God, that we are here to live in love and joy, peace and prosperity, and through us, we can make this day happen. It's the truth in your life this morning. It's the truth in mine, and so it is.
Woo! Caught me off guard. I was like, that was juicy. Now we need a juicy song. It's time. It's time. It's time. It's time. It's time. It's another day under the same sun. It's another day to lean in and claim. It's another day to be bold, brave, unafraid. It's another chance to change direction. Move the arrow, or course correction. Be an instrument, be the change to move out of the way. So if your glass is half empty, then fill it. If it's overflowing, then spill it. Over the mouths it hurt and the souls it hurt.
Spill it, spill it, spill it, 'cause we need your heart. We need it open wide.
We need your brilliantly beaming, glowing and knowing.
Goodness from inside, we need your beautiful smile. And we need it right now.
'Cause you're the light of the world, the light of this world.
And it's time you figured it out. It's time, it's time. It's time. It's time, it's time, it's time.
Yeah, you're the answer, it's perfect timing. There ain't no use in hiding. This blinding, shining diamond you've been disguising. You're the universe in a static motion. You're the elixir, the magic potion.
For a world that cries for what's behind your eyes.
So if your glass is half empty, then fill it. If it's overflowing, then spill it. Over the mouths it thirst and the souls it hurt.
Spill it, spill it, spill it, 'cause we need your heart. We need it open wide.
We need your brilliantly beaming, glowing and knowing.
inside. We need your beautiful smile, and we need it right now.
'Cause you're the light of the world, the light of this world.
And it's time you figured it out. It's time, it's time. It's time. It's time. It's time. It's time. It's time. It's time.
True to be the beautiful you, to let your soul smile through your eyes. Because you're one little light can light 10,000 more. Together we will.
Together we will. It's time. It's time. It's time. It's time.
There's a celebration in the streets. Brothers and sisters, they finally meet. All these orphans under the
Same sun, same sky.
there's a glow on the horizon.
Shiva calling, Shakti rising.
So many signs, so many signs.
Signs, 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 and we need your heart. We need it open wide.
We need your brilliantly beaming glow and know the
Goodness from inside, we need your beautiful smile. And we need it right now.
'Cause you're the light of this world, the light of this world.
Anytime you figured it out, it's time, it's time.
Let's stand here. Oh, I love that. It's time. Yes, indeed it is. So now, friends, you know that our center here, we grow and thrive, and we do that through your support. Your support can come to us in two ways, through consciousness, and that's prayer, affirmative prayer, seeing this place growing and thriving, seeing this place be what it once was and even greater. You know, I always envision us like that lighthouse is over the shore, that we're sending out a beacon of hope and love and inspiration. That lighthouse does it to little vessels out on the dark waters. We do it to souls out on the dark waters of the world's turmoil. And then we send out that signal to say, here's a place where you can come and feel better about yourself. Here's a place where you can come and feel love. Here's a place where you can have a community of people who are going to support and encourage you to know something better and good for yourself. And so we can support this center in consciousness, that's our prayer work, and also in coin. Either way is wonderful, and we're grateful to both of them. But place your hand, whichever method you're doing, place your hand over your heart with your offering, and read with me this affirmation of prosperity. I live in a universe of abundance. As I freely and joyfully give, I join in the divine flow, and all that I share with life returns to me multiplied abundantly. And so it is. Now, if you'd like to text a donation to us, you can text to that number, and we'll get it as well. And we're grateful for all the support we receive. So thank you very much. All right, guys, you have another song for us?
How can I say anything but thank you? How can I say anything but grace? 'Cause everything in front of me is heaven, everywhere and every place. Every pleasure, every pain, every joy and every heartache.
How can I say anything but thank you? And how can I say anything but grace? When everything in front of me is a mirror miracle.
Every line on every face,
Every handshake, every embrace.
so say thank you.
And I say grace. I say grace.
I want to sing that with us just gently together. I say grace.
I say grace. I say grace.
So we want to close out our service today with an affirmative prayer. I'm going to do it in the first person, but take it in for yourself. If I say something that works for you, we'll hold tight to that. If I say something that doesn't work for you, just let that part slide by. But just join with me in knowing something good and powerful for ourselves, that right here, right now, exactly as we are, flows all the power and the intelligence and the wisdom of our Creator. That intelligence which set the universe in motion, which set the rings of Saturn spinning, which created the orchid and the gnat and all of life, is now flowing through me powerfully. And here now I can direct that consciousness. So here now in this wonderful place, surrounded by all these wonderful loving souls in this area of high vibration, I now choose to think a better idea for myself. I now choose to see myself free of any limitation. I am here to astound myself and astound the world with all the great good that can come to me, flow through me. I am here to know myself as God knows me, not as weak and wounded, but I am here to be a victor of love, a victor of compassion, a victor of humanity. I am here to witness how I am loved by Spirit. I am here to be awed by how much faith and good God has in me, by how much good and glory God can rain down upon me. So this morning I leave this place not weak, not wounded, but inspired. I leave this place encouraged. I leave this place knowing that Spirit is calling me to lift my eyes up to a greater knowing that I am here to experience heaven here, now, in this moment, in this lifetime. Spirit is calling me on, and this morning I am saying yes to it all. This is my truth. I celebrate this right knowing. Every cell of my being radiates this truth, and I release it into the mind of God to do its good and perfect, bold and dynamic work, returning to me multiplied abundantly. And together we say, and so it is. All right, my friends, I want to leave you with one last thought. Your life, it's not a problem to be solved. It's a miracle unfolding. Your job this week is to go name your miracle, proclaim your miracle, and make it your own. God bless us all. Now let us go be the miracle God has called us to be. This is Reverend Ken. Until we see each other again, many blessings.
Thank you guys. This has been an amazing morning. I want to tell you, it's been a while since we've been on the road. Well, we were on the road for 5 weeks over the summer, but the first time we've been back in Florida playing. So thank you all for your beautiful welcome. We do have 9 CDs. Yep, we've been busy over the last 10, 20 years, but we also have, you know, on CD, it fits in a player. It's a little round thing. You've seen these. If you're not into that and you're one of the cool kids, we also have a USB that has all the music on it. And we also have an Oracle deck and all kinds of cool stuff. But anyway, it's been a joy to be with you. I feel like this might be your theme song. I feel like your theme song as well. It's called The Movers, The Shakers, and The Peacemakers. With our eyes wide shut in the still of the night, we sit and hold the vision. When the fears burn wild, we don't run and hide. We see a world with no division. We see with
One love, one heart, one drum beating to a song.
singing us home. We dance
In white light,
under the
starlight,
we are the
sacred seeds of the sound of Om.
and we say
Aho, Amen, Om. Aho, Amen, Om. The movers and the shakers,
the peacemakers. We are
the movers and the shakers.
the peacemakers. Well,
In your eyes,
on the other side, you're a perfectly clear reflection. There are
no others, there's only one mother. She's taking us in one direction. Love is our weapon, music our religion.
peace is our power, peace is our mission. We don't separate or dominate, 'cause we appreciate.
We celebrate and we say, Aho, Amen, Om. Aho, Amen, Om. The movers and the shakers,
The peacemakers, we are
the movers and the shakers.
the peacemakers. We can go
Higher, higher, higher still.
and we can get it.
Louder, 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 yes, we will.
You guys feel like standing up? It's hard to sing this song when people are sitting down. I want to see somebody moving around. We are
Movers and the shakers,
the peacemakers. We are
the movers and the shakers,
the peacemakers. We are
the movers and the shakers,
all the ones we've been waiting for. We are
the movers and the shakers.